There are two things that all bloggers and marketers want to increase: traffic and leads. And there is one tried and true method to do it: re-optimize your existing content. Watch on to learn why re-optimizing your content is a good idea and how to do it step by step. My name is Katerina. Every week I share a useful video on copywriting or content marketing to help you get better at your job. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new video. This shouldn't surprise you, but nothing lasts forever, including your SEO success stories. I mean your blog posts with the highest Google rankings. Any content, no matter how good, grows stale over time. Only think about it. In October 2011, there were 13 million blog posts published from blogs hosted on WordPress. 10 years later, in October 2021, people published 84 million blog posts, and that's just on WordPress. It seems like businesses have finally understood how important content marketing is. That's a good thing. But there's bad news too. As more players are entering the field from all sides, it's getting much harder to get the top spot in Google. The problem is, supply of content is growing, but demand isn't. If you've been blogging consistently for a while, you know that roughly 80% of your content works and the other half is going completely unused. And you also know that your older blog posts bring more traffic. You can concentrate all your efforts on publishing new content to rank for new keywords, or you can get more out of the content you already have. Re-optimizing your existing content is just what the doctor called for. By updating your content, you get Google to index your site more often. People are more likely to click on articles published recently, which means your updated content will have higher click-through rates. Unlike new posts, your older articles are much easier to put back on the map. If your post ranks on page 2 or 3, just a little push could take it to page 1. Updated content is more useful, so it's likely to bring more leads. Every time we re-optimized our clients' existing content, we've seen an increase in both traffic and leads. Now, when you know why you need to re-optimize your content, how do you determine which content to update? Prioritize blog posts that used to bring a lot of traffic, but their rankings dropped. Brought leads in the past, but don't perform well anymore. Can potentially bring leads, but don't rank. And finally, your top performing pages. If you don't help them remain on top, they might fall down. Now, when you've selected content that you want to put back to work, let's start optimizing it. How to give your existing posts a second life. When you optimize your content, you want to look at it from 2 points of view: SEO and content quality. Here are some SEO-related issues that you need to review. 1. Focus keyword. To review your keywords, you need a keyword tracking tool like Moz, a keyword research tool like SEMrush, and Google Search Console. Follow this checklist. Identify what keywords your article is ranking for and what their current positions are. Check if there are other pages on your website that rank for the same focus keyword. If yes, it's a bad thing, called keyword cannibalization in SEO circles. If you cannibalize your own keywords, you are competing with yourself for ranking in Google. You should decide which of these posts to keep and which one to delete or merge. See if there are more keywords related to your focus keyword that you can add to your text to help it rank better. Make sure your content is not overstuffed with keywords. Delete unnecessary repeating words and phrases, words that are out of context, and words that are not relevant to the topic of your page. 2. Search intent. Type in the keyword you are targeting and see what Google comes up with. This will help you determine the search intent. Make sure your content provides the best answers to the user queries and matches their search intent. 3. Metadata. Make sure your article has meta title, meta description, and H1 tag, and that they include the keyword or key phrase you are targeting. Remember that it's always better to target long-tail keywords because they bring visitors with a specific search intent and have a higher conversion value. 4. Alt text. Check if your images have an alt text that describes them as specifically as possible and includes relevant keywords. 5. Links. Calculate how many outbound links your page has and make sure there are no more than 5 external links. Too many links will push the reader away from your site. Make sure your post has inbound links to other relevant content on your website. That's it for SEO. Now here are some content quality related issues that you need to review. 6. Value. Make sure your content is focused on helping the reader solve their problem and makes it easier for them to make a decision. Use the Jobs to be Done framework to verify how well your content matches to the job that readers are hiring it to do. If you are not familiar with Jobs to be Done, check out my video about it. I will link to it at the end of this video. Analyze your competitors' content on the same topic and compare it with yours. Is there anything you can do better? Make sure your content has a clear key message or core idea that you want your audience to hear and remember. Look for outdated information that you need to update, such as data and statistics that are no longer relevant, examples of products that no longer exist, links to outdated sources of information, and anything else that is old and outdated. Research your topic and find important information that you haven't covered, add it to the text. 7. Lead. Optimize your introduction to make sure it hooks the reader and pulls them in. 8. Structure. See if your content is optimized for readability and inclusion. Check if your article's structure is easy to scan through and if the header tag hierarchy is correct. 9. Pictures. Make sure your content is visually engaging and that your images add value to the text. 10. Length. Measure the number of words on your page and compare it to the number of words on other pages that rank for the same focus keyword. Content length is correlated with better search rankings, so you want to aim at least 1500 words or more. 11. Uniqueness. Use a plagiarism checker to see if your content is at least 80% unique. 12. Sales pitch. Make sure your content sells your brand and showcases your expertise to increase conversions. 13. Call to action. Check if your article has a clear and relevant CTA that moves the readers to the next step of their customer journey. I have a video about calls to action in blogs with lots of examples. I'll link to it at the end of this video. There you have it. Here are 13 things you need to review when updating your content. Focus keywords, search intent, metadata, alt text, links, value, lead, structure, pictures, length, uniqueness, sales pitch, CTA. Time to breathe new life into your content and finally get those keywords you've been targeting. Once your re-optimization is done, ask Google to recrawl your website using Google Search Console. This will help your updated post climb to the top faster. Check out the link in the description to the checklist I've just gone through and use it in your projects. Remember that re-optimizing your content should be your regular activity, but you can't completely give up on creating new content. In other words, you should do both. Optimize the past and create the new. I will see you next time with a new video. Thank you for watching. Я Катерина. Пока-пока.